It's okay, it's okay. We convened meeting today. As we promised you a few days ago after we had the initial meeting with the labor movement, we said we were going to reconvene today to keep the engagement on in order to diffuse the tension in the land as a result of the withdrawal of subsidy, which is a reality. Now, we are very happy to announce to Nigerians that this engagement has been very productive. The TUC that attended today's meeting presented a list of demands, and those demands we have studied and we are going to present to Mr. President for his consideration. But those demands, we can announce to Nigerians that a lot of the items on the list are not impracticable. What we need to do is to study the numbers very well, and then we have asked the TUC to also give us a leeway to consult, very exhaustively, and come back on Tuesday, reconvene on Tuesday to actually look at the numbers, the viability, practicability of all the items that have been presented to us. Now, most important, top priority on the list, which the government is also looking at very seriously, and the president has announced before, is the issue of the minimum wage, which the labor movement has demanded as a consequence of this removal of the consequential impact of the removal of subsidy. So government is looking at that, and Mr. President is most likely going to constitute a tripartite committee, that is the committee of federal government and including the states, then the organized labor on the other part, and the private sector. Now, this is a tripartite arrangement. It will be a committee that will study all the dynamics of a wage increase, the percentages, the numbers, and the categories that will be affected. So by Tuesday, when we come back to reconvene and meet with the TUC again, the labor movement, we should have very concrete items to present to the world. But the most important thing for today is that we are making appreciable progress with the labor. Thank you very much.
What are the other demands beyond? What other demands did they put on the table beyond the minimum wage, sir?
Oh, it's a list, but we are not going to be listing all of those things now. We are not going to. The most important is the minimum wage. That is increase of minimum wage, because when this thing is removed, the argument of labor is that there is an immediate impact on the workers, on the purchasing power, because price of fuel has gone up. So that would necessarily reduce the purchasing power of the average worker. So the next thing of immediate consequence is to increase the purchasing power of the worker. And so that, to me and to all of us on this side, is a topmost priority on the list. There are other things like the tax holidays, which will be some categories of workers will be beneficiaries, but those are all. The most important is the minimum wage.
NLC are not clear, sir. Are you negotiating separately with them?
No, we are not, but we are making efforts to reach NLC. We all agree that we were going to meet here, but again, in this game, there are dynamics. Sometimes they could be meeting with their own executive and not able to meet with us, or they could want to postpone, or they have not actually articulated their own list of demands as the TUC, but we cannot second guess why they're not here. But efforts are being made to reach them. We are not isolating them at all. We are going to meet Mr. President now. We are going to give him a feedback on this, and he's going to take an immediate decision. And like I said, Mr. President himself, you all reported, he has said that there will be a review of the minimum wage. You all reported it. So we are not in disagreement. There is no disagreement at all with labor on that particular
One of the president's spokesmen, Bayo.
No, not at all. It has no relevance to the discussion on the concrete terms of the welfare of workers. Our discussion was majorly on the welfare of workers, how to cushion the impact of this subsidy removal on workers. That's all, not on any political partisanship.
The issue of strikes, so that we can properly represent the government. Who should we say is leading the government in this conversation?
Of course, you can see all of us here. You can see the GCEO of NNPC. You can see some of us who have been mandated by the president. And don't forget that a presidential system of government is executive in capacity. The president can appoint anybody. He can even appoint consultants to act on his behalf. So there is no issue about that. It is not actually germane.
Why are you able to convince them to shelve this?
Of course, we discussed that, and that's why we are still going to reconvene on Tuesday. And that's an appreciable progress.
Earlier, Labour said you must revert to status quo. Was there any attempt to touch on that?
Of course we did. We touched on that, and everybody looked at the practicability of that, the viability or otherwise. Now, the issue is that we will close all of those ones on Tuesday when we reconvene. Concrete decisions will be taken about that, and then we'll reach logical conclusions.